Hello and welcome to my channel, Bible Flockbox. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 10 facts that evolutionists don't want you to know. Fact number 1. The Big Bang Theory is one of the most ridiculously impractical theories for the origin of the universe. Basically, the Big Bang Theory teaches that a large quantity of nothing decided to pack together tightly and explode outward in order to create stars and heavier elements through more solar combustions. What makes this theory so impractical is, first of all, nothing can't explode. I mean, when was the last time you blew up nothing? This should just go without saying. Next, explosions don't produce organization. They do the opposite. They cause destruction. Think about it. It's like saying you could throw a bomb into a junkyard and get a Mercedes dealership. It's impossible. It just can't happen. Fact number 2. The fossil record does not support the theory of evolution. This is because no actual complete skeletal missing links have been found. Missing links are remains that prove one species have crossed over to another, like a half-man, half-monkey. Evolution teaches that, through natural selection and mutations, it took man approximately 6 million years to evolve. That means during that whole time, species of animals were changing from one to another and progressing towards manhood. Yet, there is not one complete set of skeletal remains that prove this. There should be literally millions of complete skeletal remains of transitional types of species if evolution did, in fact, take that long to occur. But what do we have instead? Some skulls and teeth and other small fragments of bone, which really prove nothing, because if you don't have the complete skeleton from where the remains came from, you can't prove they are transitional fossils. Simply claiming those remains came from a transitional type of species is not enough proof. Not to mention, some of those transitional fragments have turned out to be complete hoaxes. Take Piltdown Man, for example. In 1912, parts of a jaw and skull were found in England and called Piltdown Man. Evolutionists used these remains to claim they had clear evidence that man descended from ape-like creatures. However, in 1953, it was proven to be a total forgery. Laboratory tests confirmed that the bones were rather recent, not ancient, and that they had been stained with bichromate to make them look old. Also, the canine tooth of the skull was found to have been filed and stained. This isn't the only hoax like this. I'll include a link in the description box to a book entitled Evolution Cruncher, which goes into more detail about this and thousands of other scientific facts that discredit the theory of evolution. Fact number 3. Dinosaurs did not go extinct 65 million years ago. In 2005, paleontologist Mary Schweitzer discovered blood vessels in the thigh bone of a Tyrannosaurus rex, which supposedly went extinct 68 million years ago. But according to the theory of evolution, this is impossible, because traditional ideas of how fossils form do not allow for the preservation of soft, perishable organic tissues. Not to mention, the thigh bone itself was relatively unfossilized. This points to a young age for the remains of the dinosaur bones, roughly about 4,300 years, corresponding with the time of the biblical flood. Not only did dinosaurs not go extinct 65 million years ago, there still may be some around today. Over the past century, there have been a few instances where what looked like dinosaur carcasses have been discovered. The two images that you see here are of two possible plesiosaurs. The one on the left washed ashore in Monterey Bay, California in 1925. It had a 20-foot long neck, and some witnesses described a number of legs on the creature. The image on the right is of a creature that was caught off the coast of New Zealand in 1977 by a Japanese fishing boat. It was 32 feet long and weighed 2 tons. Fact number 4. Evolution has occult roots. Many people don't realize this, but Charles Darwin was not the inventor of evolution. He just made it popular. The fact of the matter is, evolution has much older occultic roots. Thousands of years before Darwin, people in shamanic cultures believed that humans and animals were related. Evolution is also at the core of the Hindu and witchcraft belief system. In addition, ancient Greek philosophers spoke about evolutionary concepts. Thales of Miletus asserted that all things originated from water, and Anaximander suggested that men originated from animals of another sort. The theory of evolution can also be compared to the New Age movement and Freemasonry. The New Age movement teaches that humanity is evolving to a cosmic consciousness which will enable us to attain to the godhood within us. Freemasonry teaches that through a progression or evolution of degrees, one may become God. Of course, this lie comes straight from Satan when he told Eve in Genesis chapter 3 verse 4, "Ye shall be as gods." Fact number 5. Evolution is impossible because of irreducible complexity. Irreducible complexity means that certain biological systems are too complex to have evolved from simpler or less complete predecessors through natural selection or chance mutations. There is an entire series of videos which go into detail about this subject called Incredible Creatures That Defy Evolution. You can even find clips of those videos on YouTube, and they have a webpage on BibleProbe.com. They talk about animals that could not have evolved because they are too complex. One example is the bombardier beetle. The following quotes are from their webpage. The bombardier beetle defends itself by mixing chemicals that explode, firing through twin-tailed tubes that can swivel like gun turrets. The bubbling liquid that shoots out at 212 degrees Fahrenheit is enough to deter most predators. The force of the round fired should be enough to blast the little beetle into orbit, if not pieces, and it would be if it was discharged at one time. Slow motion photography has revealed that the crafty beetle actually lets go with a stream of up to 1,000 little explosions. Together, they are enough to put off would-be attackers while leaving the small defender with its feet still on the ground. There is simply no way the bombardier beetle could have evolved its sophisticated defense system over time, adding swiveling gun barrels or its repeater firing mechanism at different stages. It needed them all in one package at the same time. A beetle that blew itself up would not be around to develop a more refined firing system. A beetle that could not keep the enemy in firing range would not survive to work on more maneuverable firepower. There's simply no way a slow, gradual process will produce this beetle. This is one example of many given by incredible creatures that defy evolution. Others include the giraffe, woodpecker, and even the chicken egg. If you would like more information on those or other animals that could not have possibly evolved, click on the link to the Incredible Creatures That Defy Evolution that I have left in the description box, or look up Incredible Creatures That Defy Evolution on YouTube. Fact number 6. Evolution is impossible because of the DNA species barrier. DNA doesn't allow one species to evolve into another one. In other words, there is no way, no matter how hard you try, that you can produce a cat from mating different breeds of dogs over time. It's a biological impossibility. DNA has a species barrier, which prohibits one species of animal or plant from crossing over into another one. The best that can be accomplished is the creation of different breeds within a species. Take the American English Coonhound, for example. It's a 1905 breed of dog developed from Virginia Hounds, which were developed over time from dogs imported to the United States. But it's still just a dog, even though it's a relatively new breed. Also, if you look at different animals and plants in the world, they are relatively easy to distinguish. It's not hard to see that a fish, dog, cat, monkey, and human being are all different species. Yet, if evolution really went on for 6 million years, like evolutionists claim, and throughout that entire time, fish evolved into land animals and land animals evolved into other land animals and human beings, there shouldn't be such a clear distinction between species. We should have all kinds of transitional types of life forms around us right now, but they don't exist, which means that evolution never happened. Fact number 7. Written records don't support the theory of evolution. The last stage of evolution is said to have occurred around 80,000 years ago. That's when Neanderthal man became human. Yet, written records of mankind go back only 5,000 years. The oldest written record found to date is the Kish tablet from the ancient Sumerian city of Kish. Do you mean to tell me that man has been in the same stage of development and intellect for 80,000 years and it took him 75,000 years to learn how to write? Something doesn't add up here. However, if we were created by the God of heaven around 6,000 years ago, like the Bible claims, that would make more sense. Fact number 8. Evolution is a religious belief. Evolution is just as much, if not more so, of a religious belief than Christianity and biblical creation. The reason being is because it takes more faith to believe in evolution than it does biblical creation. For those that believe in biblical creation, at least we have a written record that states God revealed the act of creation to Moses. In other words, we have the testimony of someone that was actually there, God. For the theory of evolution, there was no one there to observe the origins of the universe, so it's all guesswork. Not to mention, the belief in creation is just more logical than evolution. For example, doesn't it make more sense to believe that all of this life on Earth, full of complexity and design, was created by an intelligent designer like God? Evolutionists, however, will not admit that their belief is a religion. Why? My opinion is because it would violate the First Amendment of the Constitution, which prohibits the government from supporting any one religion, and evolution is taught in public schools in the United States. Therefore, just like public schools are forbidden from leading students in prayer because prayer is a religious matter, they would also be forbidden from teaching evolution. Fact number 9. Evolution teaches immoral behavior. Since evolution teaches survival of the fittest and that we were not created by God, that means that we are not subject to God's laws, or any other laws for that matter. Instead, it's only the strong that survive by any means necessary. Darwin also taught racism. He claimed that some races were more evolved than others and therefore more intelligent. And this line of reasoning has led to some devastating consequences throughout history. Darwinian evolution was the driving force which led Hitler to first sterilize and then exterminate mentally and physically handicapped individuals in Germany in his eugenics program in 1939. It was actually called the Action T4 program. It authorized specific doctors and officials to carry out mercy deaths, euthanasia, of those the state deemed unworthy of life. Hitler considered them to be useless eaters. Over 70,000 people were murdered, including children, and the technology used to kill them was transferred over to the killing of the Jews in concentration camps during the Holocaust. Hitler was motivated by Darwin's views on racism and survival of the fittest to exterminate the Jews. He believed that by doing so, he would advance the human race in the cause of evolution. 6 million Jews lost their lives, half of which died in horrifying concentration camps. Another famous individual, Jeffrey Dahmer, the American serial killer, which murdered at least 17 people between 1978 and 1991, blamed Darwinian evolution for his actions. He stated in an interview on MSNBC that evolution cheapens life and leaves you accountable to no one. He also went on to say that he had accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior after his father sent him some literature about creationism, which exposed the lies of evolution. On November the 28th, 1994, Jeffrey Dahmer was beaten to death in prison. Fact number 10. The theory of evolution is not a fact. Sometimes when I read comments on websites about the theory of evolution, I find adamant evolutionists stating evolution is a fact. If it's a fact, then it wouldn't be called a theory. The theory of evolution, which is basically a set of ideas used to explain how life could have come into existence through time, natural processes, and genetic mutations. This is not a fact because no one was there to observe it and no one can prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt. If it was a fact, it would be called the fact of evolution, not the theory of evolution. Not to mention, once analyzed by any thinking Christian, it becomes apparent that the theory of evolution is simply an attempt to explain away the existence of God so that people who don't want to submit to the authority of God in their lives could have some justification for not doing so. But you can't get away from God. One way or another, you're going to have to face Him. For example, Romans chapter 14 verses 11 through 12 explains, "For it is written, As I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God. So then every one of us shall give account of himself to God." Hopefully, by watching this video, you have come to the realization that evolution is ridiculous and that there is a God who will judge men according to their actions. Don't wait until the judgment in order to acknowledge God, because then it will be too late. Give your life to Jesus now. If you feel God calling you to Him, I encourage you to click on the link to the free online Bible study guides in the description box to learn more about Jesus, His Word, and His plan for your life. Thank you for watching. This has been a Bible Flockbox production. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it, share it on your social media, and subscribe to my channel. Like me on Facebook as well. I share more content there, and I reply to messages on there more than on YouTube because they're easier to keep track of. Not to mention, I also take suggestions for videos. So if you have any interesting topics which you would like to see me turn into a video, feel free to drop me a line on my Facebook page. God bless.